I hear the call of the stars.
G'day guys, welcome to game number 2 between TAVoices and Bielsko, of course, who in the grand final of the WCG Australia, South Australia, Adelaide, whatever you want to call it, qualifiers, where the winner of this particular set goes through to the national qualifiers for WCG Australia, where they will get to represent Australia in the SC2 category at WCG. So, once again, we do see these guys spawning in their very nice colours. We got Voices over here in the orange at the 3 o'clock position on ESL Shattered Temple. Keep that in mind, it is the ESL version, so there's no close ground spots. And over here in the 9 o'clock is our blue Bielsko here as the Protoss over on this side. So last game we did see Bielsko just doing a really nice job macroing up and then just going forward with a really nice push. A little bit sort of confused about the lack of extended thermal lance, but he certainly did have a lot of units out to compensate for that. Perhaps that was the plan, just to push without the lance. I'm not actually sure, but he did a good job and took our Voices in game number 1 on Terminus. So here on Shattered Temple, of course, without those close spots, that means it'll be nice little sort of position. I would say it's a little bit better for the Protoss. It means that there's no 2-rack shenanigans realistically from the Terran, which means Voices will have to do something a little bit more different from that particular side of things. But we'll see what the plan is in just a moment. And Bielsko is going to scout out with that probe, and it looks as if both guys are going to go scout out the close air spots first up, and then head over to the cross spots just after that. So once again, thank you very much to FXO Frequency, who set up this whole event essentially and got the reps for me as well. Thank you very much for all of that and getting all of this organized. So props to him. Make sure you follow Frequency on Twitter as well. I'll link it in right about 1, 2, 3 now. You can follow him there, and you can of course follow the FXO team, of course, in their journey through GSTL and GSL itself, with the various players that they have playing in those events. They've been doing a fantastic job stealing the gas here. Wow, that is actually a really old school strat from Bielsko there. Not very often that you actually see a Protoss steal the gas of a Terran these days in StarCraft 2 and StarCraft 1. It was absolutely the annoying thing you could do as a Protoss, but in StarCraft 2, of course, because there's the secondary gas, it doesn't mean the end of the world if it gets stolen, but we'll see. Perhaps it can change your strategies, definitely, of course. In particular matchups, if you steal your opponent's gas, can mean that you yourself can do a certain type of strategy, or it means that you can force your opponent to do a particular type of strategy. But meanwhile, just back here at Bielsko's base, we've got the Cybernetics core pumping away at that warp gate research, and of course the Stalker just coming out as well, which will be able to stop any further scouting from Voices. And now Voices has decided, without that secondary gas for the moment, he's going to actually get a reactor up. That could have been the plan in the first place. As I said, it's not exactly the end of the world if you get your gas stolen, and he is going to go, looks as if, for a quick expand here, utilizing the fact that he's not going to have as much gas. He's going to switch. He actually did take the SCVs off the gas that he actually had, and is now going to just go real hard on those minerals, getting out a bunker at the front of his base, along with those extra Marines that are being produced. He will be able to expand quite safely, of course, here with this command center going up just now. So meanwhile, back at Bielsko's base, I would say, yeah, it looks as if we've got the 3 gates up. He is still churning away with those probes, currently sitting 2 probes ahead of the 21 SCVs of Voices, and now actually going for the Twilight Council Tech. In fact, this could be a bad thing, because that does actually get spotted. Does he click on it? Yes, he does. Does get inside and did see that that was Twilight Council. Clicked on a couple of these buildings to make sure he knows what's coming along here as well, and so he will know that there is going to be some sort, perhaps, of a blink attack coming in from Bielsko, but I'm not actually sure if that's a plan just yet. But he should be in a decent position here, of course. The SCV whacking away with its little drill at that assimilator, saying, you know, get off my property, you crazy fool. And we'll see what the plan is from Voices, and not to mention the plan from Bielsko as well, because with that, oh yeah, geez, we're going to go pretty hard on something. In fact, this could be an expand, actually, because he's not actually spending too much. I'm not really, I'm not actually sure. There's 5 gates here. This could be some sort of 5-gate pressure attack. Has no probes on this secondary gas, but I'm thinking this is actually going to be some sort of This is going to be like a 5-gate attack or some sort of expand behind some pressure. I'm not actually sure, but there goes the probe. So there is a probe coming along with this pressure that's going to come through here from Bielsko. Voices has decided it's a good time to get a second bunker up. He will definitely need that if he's going to deflect all of this. And here come the forces of Bielsko. Probe coming in to put down the pylon. There it goes. The Stalker will have something to say about this SCV. If he gets in a little bit, he could be able to put it down and take out that SCV on the bunker, but he's not going to be able to. The SCV is now coming along. Nice positioning there from Voices. So even if some force fields go down at the back, he will have no problem with repairing it from the front as well. So a little bit confused as to what Bielsko is going to do here. We don't actually know. That was cancelled and flipped into a robo. So that was actually the switch there from Bielsko, and now has a warp prism coming out. Perhaps he's going to try and get in the front of the base, in the main base that is, from with that warp prism, and that was actually spotted by Voices, and we'll see if Bielsko is going to actually get something done with this attack here. I'm a little bit confused as to what exactly is going to go on. Picking up some Zealots that have just warped in, now going to flip that back into transport mode, and now is going to move through and probably drop these inside the main of Voices, and this is going to be quite the attack. This is going to be very, very cool. I might actually try this myself. I'm totally stealing this build. Here comes the attack. They're putting down the force field on the ramp to make sure that the units cannot get back inside to do their damage that they need to do. 2 Zealots dropping out into the front there, and then the other Zealots just inside the mineral line there with those SCVs, taking them out, and now the attack commences at the front with the bunkers. No actual repairing going on. The force fields on the ramp there. This is going to crush through everything that Voices has, and with those SCVs actually going down to those Zealots, this is going to be a terrible position for Voices. He's actually going to lose quite a lot of SCVs here once these units get into place. The Zealots going to town. They are having a little bit of trouble, but there is a GG, and there is your winner. The winner of the South Australia, the Adelaide, whatever you want to call it, WCG Australian Qualifiers, is Bielsko. So with that amazing attack that he pushed in there with that warp gate, with the warp prism, sorry, into the main base here, dropping in some Zealots, distracting whilst making sure that this front base was not going to be protected at all. That was actually very cool. I'm going to give that a go myself. But anyway, props to Bielsko for pulling that off and coming through the tournament. Make sure you stay tuned for some more replays and that sort of thing that we'll be putting up, and I hope you enjoyed these ones. Cheers.